dad, Cole, coming from Portland. So, just a bunch of different backgrounds all coming together, and we grinded. We developed. We were all raw when we first came in, and we worked to get here to this point. We improved as the years went on. I would have to disagree on that one. We had some Madden battles, but no, I'm definitely the top Madden player in the house. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. You walk into a room full of doctors, and you just sit down, and they're all just talking about you, and you're just sitting there, and you just hear whispers, and there's someone saying this, someone saying that, which is you're just kind of sitting there and like, okay, well that's kind of interesting. Um, Everyone's got a different opinion, but I know I'm ready to go. Everyone's judging me based on the tape that I put out last season, which makes total sense. But I wasn't healthy. I had a surgery that required a year for recovery. I came back in 6 months. My dad tried to get me to not play the first part of the season, but I was like, there's no way. Like, I have to go out there and play for my team. And so what I put on tape this year wasn't the full me. But what I proved at the Senior Bowl was that I can move fluidly and smoothly. No, I'm not going to stiff arm someone and hurdle them and go run 50-yard touchdown, but I can extend plays. I can do play action boot pass. I stepped up in the pocket, got 10 yards and slid when I could at practice. And so, I showed that I can move a little bit, and I didn't wear a knee brace. It's, way better than it was during the season. And so, I think I proved that already. Yeah, UNLV is obviously a big rivalry with Nevada. Whenever you get there, that's the first thing you hear about is don't wear red in the building. It's been fun. Those games are always a good time. So playing at Allegiant Stadium was a cool experience also. Um, I would actually disagree, and just because if I didn't play, I probably wouldn't be here right now. And so it really wasn't a question with me. Me and my doctor, we put a plan together where we knew that I wasn't going to be quite ready. We knew that I was going to be coming back in half the time that I was supposed to, but we put the best plan we possibly could together for that. We knew there was going to be some ups and downs going through the season with it. Obviously, I still managed to throw for over 4,000 yards and have a pretty good season. So, there was never a question that I was going to play or not. I was going to play no matter what. It was just a matter of, dealing with the challenges that came with that. I think the interviews are probably the most important part. Just watching my film, teams can tell that, I can throw the ball well, and, I have a deep ball, I can make all the throws, all that. But they want to get to know you as a player, break down your mental aspect of it. Some teams throw you, their type of plays and see how you can remember it and spit it back to them. And so I think just developing relationships with all the coaches and the GMs and all that, I think that's probably the most important part. I think that all these guys in this draft class can throw the ball. I know, like, the media especially says that this draft class for quarterbacks is weak or whatever, but I think that there's a ton of good quarterbacks in this draft class. I mean, Malik Willis is a freak athlete. You can sling the ball. I work out with Desmond Ridder every single day with Jordan Palmer. I mean, I'm not going to knock any of the guys. All these dudes can play football. None of us would be in the conversation to get drafted if we couldn't. However, I do think that I can throw the ball really well, and I have a very strong arm. But no knock on the other guys. Everyone can throw the ball well.
Carson, it seems like on third down that you really rise to that occasion. Is there something to that? What is it that allows you to come through on those running downs?
I think the freedom that my coaches gave me in Nevada, being able to get into whatever I play that I thought would work at the time. I had no limitations at the line of scrimmage. I could get into any play at any time, and especially on third down. If I thought that there was going to be a play that was going to get us a first down, I was calling it. And my coaches backed me up, whether it worked or it didn't. 9 out of 10 times I would say it worked, because when I audible, it's based on what the defense is showing. And so I take what they give me. I would audible in the run, screens, quick game. I'll check the deep ball too. I'm just taking what they give me, and on third downs especially, that's when I really know that, it's my time to come through for the team.
How did that come about as far as getting that trust with you and that as a time?
I think that, the strongest part of my game is just my decision-making ability. I can make all the throws, but, I make good decisions with the football in my hand. I'm not going to check the deep ball every time I get the chance. I will when it's there. But, I'll check in the run, screen, quick game. I just want to take what the defense gives me. And so the coaches, they developed that trust in me that I was going to make the right decision over time.
Carson, you talked about you working with Jordan Hall. What are some of the things that, you guys really hammered in?
Yeah, Jordan, he's a great dude. I feel super lucky to be working with him. He's trained, the past 2 number 1 picks, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, trains Josh Allen, a ton of other guys that I've got a chance to meet over the past few weeks that have come by to work with them. The number one thing that I take away with him is just, for me, my personal thing is keeping my cleats in the ground, driving off my right foot, getting leverage. I developed some compensation issues from the season, so I'm learning how to drive off my right leg again. I just have a ton of untapped power that I haven't been using. And so just moving forward, I just have a ton of potential to gain even more strength in my arm.
Carson, do you think that having that freedom at the line of scrimmage that you had at Nevada is going to help you transition to the program a little bit better from the mental aspect? That can be an issue for a lot of guys. Do you think that's going to help you transition quicker than, say, some other guys that didn't have those freedoms?
Yeah, I think that, all the quarterbacks are going to have to make a transition in some sort of way. Whether you come from Alabama or a Division III school, you're transitioning into being a professional, and that in itself is a task that everyone has to handle. For me personally, the background that I had in Nevada, being able to change things at the line, I may not get that freedom at whatever team drafts me. I may have a team that says you were running this play no matter what. And so, I'm going to be ready for anything, though. I believe that I can execute any offense, unless they're asking me to run a read option and quarterback power every other play. Other than that, I think I can execute just about anything. And so, whatever it is, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to spend as much time as I can with the quarterback coach and learn as much as I possibly can so that I'm ready for when my opportunity comes.
Carson, why do you think the media is down on this program?
Maybe just because there's not a Trevor Lawrence or a guy who's supposed to be the number 1 pick, or like an Andrew Luck type of guy where he's been the number 1, kid since high school and he won a national championship. Other than that, I think that there's a lot of guys that can play football, and yeah, so.
Have you guys talked about that as a quarterback group in this class?
I live with Dez, and we work together, so we've talked just a little bit about it, but I haven't got too much of a chance to talk to the other guys, except for the guys at the Senior Bowl, like Kenny and Malik. I think Malik is like a crazy athlete. That dude, he can run, he can throw. So, I think that this quarterback class just gets a lot of maybe crap that we don't deserve. Maybe I'm being personal and biased because I'm in it, but, I think that there's a lot of guys who have a ton of potential to be really good in the league.
At what point in your development did you
So, we've had some guys come back that worked with Jordan in the past, and a story I could tell you is Jarrett Stidham. When he was going through this process, he thought the one team that for sure wasn't going to draft him was the Patriots. He's like, my meetings with them went terrible. He had a walkthrough with them, and it was just like a terrible walkthrough, and they ended up being the team that drafted him. So the team that you think right now is going to draft you isn't going to be the team that drafts you, so you never really know. Desmond Ridder is, he's an extremely confident dude. He won the Senior Bowl MVP. He went out there, and he was just a confident guy. He's the most winning college football quarterback, in this class. He's a winner. He's a competitor, but he's a super cool dude. We have a lot of fun together, just hanging out, golfing, just out there throwing, going to the beach, whatnot. So he's a really fun guy, and I'm lucky to have met him.
You mentioned the medical.
Okay. It's the Duke. I don't know why it's called the Duke. The Duke. No, what is it? Okay. The more you know. Yeah.
I just hadn't heard this. We were talking about the medicals before. I would just to be clear, have you been cleared by the medical, the combine medical, and have you been given indications knee is not going to be a long-term issue?
Well, the combine medicals is there's 32 doctors, well, 32 teams of doctors, and all their teams are going to have different opinions on me. My doctor and the doctors that I work with, I'm cleared with them. I've been cleared with them. I played at the Senior Bowl without a knee brace, and I moved just fine. I was fluid. These combine medicals it's all going to be individual to what those team doctors think of me, and so I don't know. I don't know what they think. I'm sure some teams think that I'm totally fine, and some teams probably are more concerned. So, it is what it is. I know that I can play ball, and that I'm good to go. So that's really all that matters.
Carson, you talked about not always chucking it deep and taking what's there. Some quarterbacks who get into the NFL can struggle with that, where they want to create the big player, they're professional. So how have you trained yourself to be able to do that? Where you're willing to not always just make plays, but also just kind of take plays.
Yeah, I kind of compare playing quarterback to boxing in a way. You got to jab them up. You got to hit some body shots. You can't just come in there, swinging big hooks. So you got to take what they give you. You got to take the check downs. But when the defense puts their hands down, you got to be ready to knock them out. So, I want to take the short game, quick game, check down. And when the defense they put their hands down, then I'm gonna go for it all. So.